Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight and neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. And neck head straight in one line. Be comfortable yourself and close your eyes, please. And while you're closing your eyes and bring attention to this bell sound. So while you're focusing to the sound mentally, relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dharma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we mainly try to give some basic informations for yourself to develop a very clear, good foundation to practice yourself. Because when it comes to meditation, and as well as to the spiritual practice, there are many methods. And at the same time, there are many kind of techniques that people use with the different reasons. But here, we mainly try to give very authentic, very raw level of basic information for you to work. Because there is a certain limits that we can bring information through words and help you. And at the same time, using that information correctly, develop it in you and bring the right method of practice is your responsibility. So it is a kind of like 50-50. So, but the thing is, once you have the right building blocks, you can develop the practice on the top of it. And end of that all, even though we go through different avenues, the destination, we all going to reach the same thing. That is the beauty. But when it comes to the quality, it can different person to person according to their behavior and the character and the history and the environment. And also the faith that they have themselves. And according to that quality, maybe the journey can be different, longer or shorter, but still the destination going to be the same. That is our liberation and the freedom. So when it comes to freedom, it is just not we going to reach to some place kind of like a complete empty. So as you know, there are two kind of truth: absolute truth, relative truth. And absolute things, relative things. So when it comes to very conventional way of understanding, so as example, when we say absolute truth, that's mean then there should be kind of like absolute untruth. Because otherwise, how we can come to the completion knowingly this is the absolute truth? So when it comes to kind of like the right and wrong, so absolute right, that's mean then should be something absolute wrong. No, it's not like that. So even though we say relativity and relative things, there is not absolute things. It is just absolute, that's it. So when it comes to the freedom part, we have to understand that the freedom doesn't mean we get out of this all and you become nothing. Because that this something itself going to transform to another thing. So then from where this freedom arises? That what is the meaning of the freedom? How we can understand it? So when it comes to that, you know, pre-dom. So this last part, dom, D-O-M, is a kind of like a indication of the state. So you become free, and it's a kind of like an indication that it's giving kind of like informations about the free. Once you are capable to get that, you have ability to develop the freedom. So as example, we say sugar free. That doesn't mean it's completely empty from sugar. In a certain amount of sugar, it's not going to be there. And maybe it's not going to catch by the measurements. Salt free. And sometimes, you know, poison free. That means that the poison free means it's not going to kill you. There is no capacity in that poison to kill you. It's kind of like a drug free. You know, the drugs, these people drive, you know, drink and drive. So in a certain amount of alcohol, when they drink, I don't know the percentage, but when they go over that, then they recognize as a drunken person. So otherwise, it's not going to be, but still, it's alcohol. So like that, there's some kind of things in us going to be like this, but still, what the freedom that we gain? So that is completely the way we understand. The very reason is this, that there is existence happen, but the existence doesn't mean that what we think, that's the thing. Because we believe there is something, this permanently unchangeable, related to self or the soul, there is something going to be here. But there is nothing like that. But still, this appearance happens. How this appearance happened then like this? Because that whatever, even we go to the atom or this one single cell, in that single cell, there is a nature to expand. There's no single cell atom to be solid. So it's always it's a moving. It always has an ability to open. So like the seed. So the seed, any seed that has ability, if it has the, it's a good seed, it has the ability to open. When the necessary conditions and environment there, it has ability to open. So, and at the same way, if you take the balloon, so it has ability to open. So same like when you observe with your inhalation, exhalation, you can see that nature in your body. In the surface level, you can see with the inhalation, exhalation, chest and your abdominal area, shoulders, like that. But if you go deeper, you are capable to recognize this entire body, head to toes. Always in that nature. There is no solid, anything that you can find. Another thing is, even though we see things as kind of like independent, permanent entities, it is not like that. But when it appears to us, we take something as kind of like that permanent, solid way. Just as example, look at this computer. Even the walls around us, this wall that we see, it's kind of like a very solid. It's give a very, the clear structure for us. So when we see that, what happened? On the top of that appearance, our awareness going to stop. And then, so that what we catch on the top of that going to become our understanding. But when you develop the awareness, what happens? When you develop the awareness, you are capable to listen this very carefully and try to grab it. Yeah. When you see it, when you get the perception with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, you are capable to, while you experience, your awareness go through the experience. That is something, this is, sometimes it makes some people dizzy, So how will, if you get the example, like sometimes, doctors want to see inside the body, and they first send a little tube. It's nothing, it's just a tube. And then what they does, in the middle of that tube, they send the wire with the camera. And they go to the necessary place and see. So like that, when you experience something, the observation, when you observe something, your awareness, that means your observation go through the object that you observe. And when you're capable to go through that, what happens, you recognize, even though it appears like that, there is nothing. So if you take anything in the world, but in the surface level, you see that. So that's why it's a conventionally you see things, so you have to accept it as the truth. But when it comes to relativity, absolute truth, absolutely there is nothing. So on the outside world, even though we see that, with the inside, still that our awareness may be, our consciousness hold it to our own past experience, that past experience appear as something. That's where the self come. So this wall, this computer, this everything appear with the many conditions. And it look like very solid. It look like there's something. So same like our past experience, not only one experience, just imagine, forget about the previous lives. Just take a one day and see with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, that all the perception that you gain for 1 hour, only for 1 hour. How much that things that you accumulate. So then this that's accumulation bring the appearance. That's the key point that you have to understand. If you, so the thing is this, then you can get the line. The accumulation bring the appearance, but it is not the experience bring the appearance. So then what happened? If you are capable to drop the accumulation but keep the experience, your appearance not going to be there. But our misunderstanding, when we become with the self-centered mind, what happens, rather than experiencing, we use the moment to whatever that we go through, we accumulate rather than experiencing. Anywhere you go, just a very simple example. You know, if once you go to a very new place, you know, see, sometimes people take pictures, selfie everywhere. Selfie, you know, the selfie means your own picture. You take your own picture. Just imagine why you take your own picture. You know, if you take someone else, it's okay. It has a long journey with the pictures. You know, in the ancient time, you know, remember that time that you go to in a certain place, you don't move. You know, another person come with the huge camera and put the piece of, you know, black cloth behind him, and he took the picture, and you stay without moving, and it's a very serious job. But today, you know, people go anywhere and they take themselves, you know, they take themselves. Why? Because they don't experience. They are in the accumulative process. And sometimes when they go hike or any places, they, you know, they collect little pebbles. You know, when they go to beach, you know, and the vacations, so, you know, little things with the names and you know, things to as memory. So we are in the process of accumulation. While you are in the process of accumulation, you lose the experience. So when you lose the experience, what is happened? That you depend on all the mental objects. That is what our life. So then how you can break down this? So that's why we develop the meditation observing the sensation related to the present moment. So when it comes to that, how the transformation, how the shift going to happen, because now we are in the accumulative process. Now we're trying to come to the present moment of the process. So the very nature of your mind is this. When the mind is focused to something, it becomes relaxed. Once it becomes relaxed, it detached from the collective nature. Once the mind focused to something, it becomes relaxed. So once it becomes relaxed, it releases the collective nature. So that it can have, you can focus to anything. That's why the people do many things, and once they release from that collective nature, they become free. But the important thing is here, the free means it is not going to be empty. You come to certain kind of a state. So then you have to be very careful that thinking about the freedom, maybe you come to a state with the certain kind of boundaries, then it's not going to become free. It's kind of like a, freedom land. There is no kind of like such a freedom in that way, because it bound with the certain cause and conditions. So then, and a lot of people, following the freedom, and they want to be free. Even suicidal, they want to be free. You can't tell, oh, it is wrong. No, they try to find the freedom, that's why, because that's how they go into that much very difficult things to do. We can't do that. We can't do that. It's very difficult. But still, thinking about freedom, they try to do, but it never going to take them to that kind of release, but it try to take them to another place. So then we have to be very careful with this inner freedom, that we release our mind focusing to something. It should be profitable for us to, rather than going to another prison, same like this or maybe worse than this, to be more better, independent, and have the more space for us to work. So that is what called cultivation. So when you do practice the meditation in the present moment, that is the beauty of the present moment. When it comes to the present moment, in that very moment, you have the ability to expand the capacity to grow inside rather than closing down it. So then what happens? So each and not only the moment, that what you experience in the moment, what happened, go to entire your body. Each and every cell start to gain that freedom, openness. That is where your complete growth going to happen. So when it happens like that, what going to experience yourself? I'll give an example for that. So you know that how it can say, when the head to toes, the complete openness happens, the growth going to happen. It's like this, that we say fall into sleep. So that means you fall into the entire body, surrender to that. You drop your resistance, you completely into that state. Falling to bed, it's not kind of like you hold half of your body, no, your entire body completely surrender. It's kind of like you pouring water to another cup of water. The water that's both together, bring the complete harness. It's not like a piece of rock you put it to water. How about when you pour the water into the water? So that is what happened when you fall into sleeping. When you fall into bed, you fall into hands of someone. You don't hold anything to you. You completely go into that and fall into love. That doesn't mean you hold half and then half of you. No, you fall into love means head to toes, each and every cell in you, you surrender to that person. So when you come to the tranquility moment, in the present moment, what happened? When that openness happened, you fall into samadhi. There's nothing to hold back. That is where that growth going to happen. That is the beauty of the present moment. That release is the most important experience physically that you can gain. That is what that it's always look for, that expanding, releasing. Because when that release happen in you, there is no gravity hold back. So like falling to sleep, anywhere, sometimes they fell down to maybe whatever, maybe they hit the head, and maybe they get damaged, but still they don't care about it. There is no consciousness hold back when they fall into love. Even they're going to die, they're going to hard time, but they don't care about it. It's kind of like they completely into that. So when you fall into samadhi means when you into that, there is any more, you don't have any more that collective nature. You come to the complete 100% moment of experience nature. That is where 100% your memory going to activate. Because now what we does, we try to memorize. We take whatever we memorize, we take as memory. But when it comes to the natural process, when the real experience come, it's going to become your memory. It's two different things. You can memorize anything. If you keep repeating certain time period, then you can get it as a memory. That is what we think. But for meditation, another word, interpretation, it's come as the memory. That means that your experience going to become 100%, and it not half of you, head to toes, your entire body going to be with it, and then it become your memory, and you fall into it. So you fall into the moment. Just imagine when you are capable to not hold it to anything or accumulate anything, falling to moment by moment experience. In that journey, there is no somebody going to exist beyond that experience. So then you get out of the names and forms that you carried with yourself as the self-identity. Because in the moment of experience, there is no self-identity. When you get out of the moment of experience and when you depending from the memory, that is where your self-identity validate. So in this meditation, with the tranquility meditation, bring that to state. And then the vipassana state, what happens, you are capable, even though that you fall into that moment of experience, through that moment of experience, You are capable to go, send your awareness more deeper into the bottom of that with the very vigorous observation with analytical mind to see what you experience. And that is where you see there is, even though there is things that we experience, in the depth of that experience, there is nothing. So then you come to that moment to understand, and still you accept that everything, but you know on the bottom of that, in the bottom of that, there is nothing. It's same kind of like that when it comes to this mathematics, the Romans, Persian, Greek, Chinese, they had this all, numbers, but they didn't have the zero. The Indians, the one who introduced this zero to the world. But the zero doesn't mean it is empty. Shunya, the zero means it gives opportunity to grow to something. That's why when you put the zero, after one, it becomes 10. It gives the state to grow, So when, just try to understand, when you facilitate anything to grow, the facilitator not going to hold any identity. That in the physically, there is a way that you can experience it if you become very aware. So we carry that our self-identity and the, self-centered mind. So those kind of things. When you get married, when you in love as partners, as husband and wife, you still carry your self-identity. But when you hear you are going to be a mother and the father, in that very moment, if you are conscious, if you are not conscious, if you hate your wife or if you hate your child, then it's not going to happen. But in that very moment, when you hear that you're going to become a mother or the father, it's kind of like, you get out of something. You get out of your self-centered mind. It gives the openness to you. That's why the Buddha mentioned that, your mother and father is kind of like the Buddha. Just imagine, Buddha never compare anybody to, even the Brahma, even the many other, the high power gods, the many things around. But Buddha never, no, but he compared the mother and father. Because that's a moment of that, something that you can experience. But the thing is this, once you go back to collective memory, it's disappeared. And then once you get used to it, it's nothing, forget about, becoming a mother, becoming a father, it's a kind of like, so it's normal for you. But that the very first time experience is give a glimpse of that wisdom for you, if you are capable to get it. That's why in the ancient time that it said, that if you look for the growth, there are ways that you can gain liberation. So one way to become sannyasi or to become, monk or give up these things and you go spiritual journey. So if you stay at home, be a mother or father, because it gives the access to somehow. See that the avenue going to become different. but somehow we're going to come to the same destination. So like that, this recognizing this, that the releasing ourselves, and when you are capable to use your awareness thoroughly, vigorously, through the object that you observe, you recognize deeply, it is just the cause and effect, causality. So when you go inward yourself with your all feelings, thought, emotions, the sensation, everything, that is what you recognize. And once you recognize that, what happened? Then there is another transformation happen. What is that? So that is this. So we hold it to this self-centered mind. The ourself, this is me. Then it covered by the skin. This self-centered mind and the identity, experience, the feelings, the history, that everything bound, keep bound us to this body. And when you are capable to go into that deeper level of experience, you are capable to expand it. How you can expand it? You get out of the body and then you take your family as you. You can take the friends and the village as you. And then you expand it in a certain way. And then you take your country as you. You are capable to expand it to the world as you. That how about then, if you are capable to, this entire universe, each and every moment, each and every existence that happen in this universe, and all this dust and the glitters and the stars collected and moving around us, that everything as you, what will happen to you inside you? So because then you get out of you are naturally released. There's nothing to collect. It's only moment of experience. Just imagine when that in the entire universe is you, what to collect? So, but it's still the experiencer is there. That experiencer, the moment of that you experience it, you keep it to that moment. And so this process, that's why the wisdom and the compassion both arise together. So that's why when you come to that wisdom, your compassion, you recognize the connection, the harness, there's no separation. And it is even though it is that in the surface level, there are differences. Depth, we all the same, but in that same level, there is nothing. So then you're not bound to this or that both. So that itself gives the complete freedom to you. So that complete freedom means you get out of the idea of these permanent names and forms, and what you see, what you hear, smell, see, feel, this kind of things. That the permanent, independent, the picture that you carry with each and everything, you release. That when I say your car, you have a certain structure with the the model, the color, the license plate, and this everything, and you take it, oh, this is my car. So, but in the depth, you release that. So on the surface level, then you see that all the waves and the water and everything, but in the depth, In the ocean, you don't go into categorize the ocean according to the behavior of the waves. So that is how your own experience with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, with the moment of experience when you drop the collective nature and come to the experience state. In that experience state, even rather than hold it to that on the surface level of name or the form, categorizing it as a permanent, independent material things or the person, if you are capable to observe, you send your observation through whatever the object you observe, then you come to that complete release of that grasping, collecting, hanging, holding nature. So that is where you recognizing the moment of experience release from that, give the access to release this entire process. And through the samadhi with the balance, undisturbed mind, you are capable to enter in and the falling to the samadhi and give that a state. And when you develop it to the vipassana, and in that state, what happened? You are capable to fall into liberation. When you fall into liberation, it's not like falling to sleep, fall into someone else's hand, fall into your couch, fall into someone else's lap, fall into love, not falling to kind of like a samadhi or the higher state. It's giving a complete highest level of experience to yourself, and to release that all the boundaries, and you fall into enlightenment. So that's it. Always happen in us. That is what our body asking, to release this gravity and go out of it. Our memory is the major thing that hold us, with the greed, hatred, and the delusion hold us back. So that's why people into drugs, alcohol, dancing, what this all does, it allows them to release. From what? From their own collective nature. So that's why, rather than focusing your mind to that and get the release, so this is a very sustainable way, because for that, you have to pay for that, you have to earn a lot of money, you have to pay for that, and even it is just for a moment, and then you have to get out of the police. There are a lot of things, and at the same time, it may be for later that our body going to be unhealthy. So but this is a very sustainable way, and at the same time, this is a very profitable way. Why? Because moment by moment, it will help you to grow. So now just get into practice a little bit. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Sopatveva, or be well and happy. 3 times. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes. Sopatveva, oh, may I be well and happy. And take a moment and think. In this very moment, we gathered to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. And when it happens, recognize it through the sensation. Do nothing extra. So don't fall into sleep and fall into tranquility state. And from there, fall into ultimate wisdom. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away. Already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha paribunjisami idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.